Coming up on the County Line, we'll have a sneak peek of our seniors' capstone presentations.
And we'll talk with Reverend Jim Moore about the annual Christmas Vesper service.
Plus, all your local sports updates are right here, too.
We're live.
We're local.
The County Line starts now. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Ashley Bishop.
And I'm Kayla Zoller. The Prime Outlets in Grove City may be the newest addition to the Simon Property Group Incorporation. Simon wants to add the outlets to its operations because of how well the Prime Outlets compared to traditional shopping malls in recent years. The Prime Outlets in Grove City attract shoppers from Ohio, New York, and even Ontario.
Newcastle is home to more locally owned pizza shops than anywhere else in the County Line's viewing area. What most do not realize is what goes on behind the front counter at some of these restaurants. The County Line's Angela Tucker shows us what goes on at Augustine's Pizza in Newcastle.
At Augustine's Pizza, they've been taking orders for more than 50 years. It's more than the average pizza shop. On the other side of the small kitchen is a pizza-making factory. Here, Augustine's packages 6 different products for sale in local grocery stores.
We probably make about 10,000 pizzas a week, selling in a 50-mile radius of Newcastle.
They began making the frozen pizzas in the early 60s, and they have been making them ever since. The process begins at 7 a.m. with the mixing, rolling, pressing, cooking, and cooling of the dough used to make pizza shells. The recipes for the dough and sauce are a secret of the family.
We've only had about 4 or 5 dough mixers in the 52 years that we've been in business. And those are either friends, real close friends of the family, or family members.
After being cooked, pizza shells are cooled, taken off of the trays, and cooled some more until time to add the topping. After lunch, Augustine's employees gather around the assembly line to load and unload the pizzas. Crust our sauce, cheese, packaged, and ready for sale. Augustine's take-home pizzas are ready to go as bought, or you can add your own topping choices. According to Frank Augustine, the frozen pizzas are the biggest part of their business. But if you'd rather avoid cooking, Augustine's is open 7 days a week with a full takeout menu. Reporting from Newcastle, I'm Angela Tucker for the County Line.
This afternoon, the Walmart in Union Township hosted its annual Shop with a Cop event. Dozens of officers paired up with more than 100 needy children from the area and took them on a shopping spree. Let's take a look at what happened. That is so cool!
Yes, this year I think Santa's helpers do have badges. We're here to help. We let the kids see that up front. People who are customers of Walmart see that. We have on-the-spot donations, other people walking around that donated to next year's program because they believe in it too.
I'm here participating in the Shop with a Cop. I work for Newcastle Police Department. It's my second year doing this, so come out, it's a pretty good cause. So anything to give back. I mean, I've done stuff like that since high school, so it's pretty important for me to come out, help these kids out. So.
What happens is we go and get donations gathered up all year long through a multitude of different charities. And then what happens is here at the end, it's all piled together. And then we're blessed by the great turnout that we continue to have from all the officers and affiliated personnel across Lawrence County. Basically, there's about 8 different schools involved, and those are chosen maybe by the folks that could use it the most. They come in here today, they get paired up with an officer, and like I say, today they get preloaded gift cards for the amount that was broken down, and basically they go shopping. So what Christmas is all about to help make these children's Christmas that much better. Right now it looks like about 98 kids, and that is well over 25 over last year just alone.
It helps me to get more in the mood for the whole season with us trying to help the kids out, something that they may not have seen otherwise.
Well, I tell you what, if you don't know, and sometimes we forget, sometimes maybe what Christmas is about, there it is. It's right there. You actually see what Christmas is truly about.
Stay tuned for a special look at our seniors' capstone presentations.
And we'll have all the latest Hounds and Titan sports updates on this week's Titan Town Sports.
More County Line is on the way.
So nice out here.
Yeah, I used to come out here when I was a kid. Nothing. Relax.
No, I definitely heard something.
Look! Who is that?
What are you doing? Shut the door!
Okay, okay.
He's got an axe!
He does?
Please!
I'm trying! Come on, baby! Come on!
He's at the window.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to loc.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at loc.gov.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. One of some matches and that's no good. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire. Yeah.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Fire.
Here at Westminster College, seniors must complete a capstone project that showcases proficiency within their major. This year, some seniors display their talents by creating a documentary.
The Yellow Brick Road comes to life in Elizabeth, PA, just 20 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. Elizabeth is home to a youth theater troupe known as the Petite Players. County Line Dana Krakency follows a group of nearly 50 kids as they rehearse for a production of Oz. Here's a short clip of Dana's documentary called Another Journey to Oz.
3 days, 46 spectacular kids, sold out crowds. The weekend flew by in a whirlwind as loud and chaotic as the twister that carried Dorothy and Toto to Oz. And Sunday, June 14th has come far too soon. For many in the audience, the story that unfolded on the Grand Theater stage may just have been another journey to Oz. But for the Petite Players, it is the end of a journey. In September, a new group of Petites will be cast under a new director for the fall musical, The Princess and the Pea. But, for now at least, there are still a few minutes left until the curtain finally closes. Only first, there's one more piece of tradition to take care of.
Happiness is from your good man, Charlie Brown, and it's part of that production. And I think it's great because there's so many different things that can bring you happiness. And basically the end is, and happiness is coming home again. And happiness is anything that's loved by you. So to each person, they may find their happiness in something different, but happiness can be found.
Senior Allison King, her capstone project consisted of a children's television show. The show, entitled Zuko, the Beau, and Me, tells the story of two cats and their caretaker, Allie. The show focuses on the fears and questions that arise when children first start school. Here's an excerpt from Zuko, the Beau, and Me.
Hello, Allie.
Hi, Dr. Reed.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Hello, Zuko. And this must be Beau. Hello, Beau.
Hello.
I'm Dr. Reedgood. I'm the principal here at Sunnyside Elementary School, and I'm so glad you could come today. We're going to take a little tour of our building so you can see some of the places where you'll be going when you're a student here next week.
Oh. We really appreciate the tour, Dr. Reedgood. Beau's still a little nervous about starting school, and considering how big the school is, I'd be nervous too.
Well, it does seem pretty big, and it does seem like it would be easy to get lost, but you'll stay with your classmates and your teacher, and after you get used to the building, it won't seem so confusing anymore. So, let's take a little tour of the building. I think the first place we're going to go to is the music room.
Sounds great.
Located just under a 2-hour drive north, the Northwestern and Western New York regions are known for their vast spans of vineyards scattered throughout the region. In his mini-documentary Through the Grapevine, senior broadcast major Scott Lawrence discovered the culture and economic impact of grape farming within these rural areas. Here's a short clip illustrating the local importance of this tiny fruit.
One of the challenges that we have realized that we need to address is how we make people who live here proud of what is here. There have been a lot of years where industry has left the area, where we hear more about welfare than we do about job creation. And so we have to make people here realize they have something to be proud about.
To encourage the development of this local promotion, a week was set aside in August specifically celebrating America's grape country. The week features a variety of grape and wine activities, including an area wine festival. Festival goers got the chance to taste wines from 26 different wineries from across New York State. With thousands of people pouring in to try wines of all flavors, the festival is an important showcase of why the grape industry is so special and unique to the area. To kick off this week-long celebration, America's Grape Country hosts an unusual event back in the grape town of Westfield, New York. As part of the weekend farmers market, a gathering of the finest local produce the area has to offer, a unique religious ceremony is held, the annual Blessing of the Grapes. The blessing literally involves the casting of holy water onto a grapevine.
I think in the early days, because the growing of grapes was so critical to the farmers and the people, that they, would want to, call on God's help to make sure they had a good season. And so it's kind of a prayer for a good season.
Who with you and the Holy Spirit lives and reigns, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
And while an event such as the Blessing of the Grapes may seem unusual to a visitor's eye, it is events like this that make this community so special. And that is a special feeling worth preserving.
Coming up on the county line, we talked to Reverend Jim Moore about the upcoming Christmas Vespers service.
Also on the way, we have all your Titan and Hound updates with Matt Ogden.
What is that thing?
Looks like somebody's double chin. Must have lost it snacking on fruits and vegetables.
The annual Christmas Vespers service will take place this Sunday in Orr Auditorium at 7 p.m.
The County Line reporter Adam Plyler sat down with college chaplain Jim Moore in this week's County Close-Up to talk about why Christmas Vespers is a long-standing tradition.
With the County Close-Up, I'm Adam Plyler. Today I get to sit with the Westminster College chaplain, Reverend Moore. Thanks for coming on today.
Adam, it's great to be with you.
Thank you. And today we're talking about the Christmas Vespers. A lot of people might not know what exactly that is. Could you please explain it to us?
Yeah, Christmas Vespers is a college-wide community worship service that's held every year the Sunday right before final exams begin. And it's been going on for years and years. Probably could go back 35, 40 years and find worship services from Christmas Vespers. So it has a long tradition. It's designed to include as many of the students as possible. In our case, we have 150 students who participate in the choirs. We have brass ensembles, percussion ensembles. We have a variety of readings that happen. This year we're doing a Lessons and Carols worship service, which basically takes the scriptures from the Old Testament and moves us through to the birth of Christ, which is what the Christmas season is about. And in addition to the scripture readings, then in between each reading there'll be a musical presentation, whether that's a Christmas carol sung or combined choir singing or the gospel choir singing or the handbell players. So it just involves a whole lot of folks participating in the service.
Now, with all these folks in the service, how do you get everybody available to practice?
Well, we have one practice, and it's not really a practice at all. It's actually a videotaping that we do on the Saturday morning before Christmas Vespers. So this Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, students who are in the choirs will begin showing up down at Orr Auditorium. At 8:30, they'll do a rehearsal together for perhaps the first time, because it's the women's choir, a women's chorus, the men's chorus, the chancel, or concert choirs, I guess we call them, and they'll all get together for the first time and rehearse the songs that they're going to do. And then at 9:15 or 9:30, the people who are readers will show up, and at 9:30 we kick off with the videotaping. And it's a taping, but more than anything, it's a run through. It's not really a rehearsal. We go from beginning to end, just as if it's live.
Now, think back to the history books. How long has this event been a tradition at Westminster College?
Golly, I don't know. I can remember reading some old Christmas Vesper worship services. They're bulletins from the early 80s. So I'm guessing that the tradition goes back way beyond that. The concept of the word Vesper is one that we've lost in our tradition, because Vesper is an evening worship service. And oftentimes students, at least today, come to college and they're not sure what Vesper means, but that's what it is. It's a Sunday night worship experience on our campus. And we hold them throughout the year in the chapel. This one is larger, and so we moved down to Orr Auditorium, and 1,600 folks will come to the service on Sunday evening.
Now, is this open to all communities, or just
It is.
in Wilmington?
It is. We advertise it all over. Students will come. Their parents will come from, boys south of Pittsburgh or up in Erie, which always can create a weather issue for them as they're making their way down from the snowbelt areas. Local churches participate. They bring groups. Youth groups have been known to come and make that their Sunday activity for that particular week. So folks come from all over.
Now, what is your most memorable Christmas Vespers?
I was sharing with you earlier that one year I developed pneumonia right as Christmas Vespers was starting, and I needed to go to the doctor, so I went on Saturday morning, and by Sunday evening I was feeling maybe a touch better and probably should not have been there, but I was anyways. And I took cough medicine right before going on to the stage or into the chancel area, which is what we convert Orr Auditorium to. And so I took cough medicine, went through the whole service, preached, did everything that needed to happen there. I have no recollection of what happened at that service.
Now, is it only students that participate, or do faculty and or people of the community?
Yeah, it's really only students that participate, along with myself, and we have the local priest, the Catholic priest that's in the area who works with our students, come and participate in the service as well. He's going to be able this year to participate in the videotaping on Saturday morning. He won't be able to participate Sunday night this year because of a prior commitment that he has. Father Tom Lewandowski is new to Westminster College, new to this part of Western Pennsylvania. He's just new at St. Camillus Church. And part of their commitment to Westminster is that they'll come up and provide Mass on Saturday evenings. It's a great thing that we do. And so he's not able to be here Sunday evening, but it's just the two of us, and we help lead the worship service. But students do all the readings. They're going to lead a lot of the prayers this week. And it's just going to be a great occasion.
Now, what time is Christmas Vespers?
It begins at 7 o'clock p.m. I encourage folks to get here about 6 so that you get a seat where you want to be. There'll be special music in the lobby of Orr Auditorium at 6 o'clock with the percussion students playing music. And then the service begins at 7. Once the service concludes at 7 o'clock, then there's a cookie reception out in Orr Auditorium and down in the art gallery. And we encourage folks to bring cookies that evening, homemade Christmas cookies as opposed to store-bought cookies, so that we can enjoy a good cookie reception. And at that reception, the flute choir is going to be playing. So there's special music throughout the evening.
Sounds like a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
And if anybody can't make it, don't worry, WCN is broadcasting the taping of the Christmas Vespers on channel 204 and 182 on Comcast and channel 72 on Armstrong. Thank you very much, Reverend Moore, for joining me today.
Adam, it's my pleasure, and we look forward to seeing folks on Sunday evening.
More County Line is up next.
I'm open! Shoot it, Cassie! Shoot it!
There's a better way to have fun with history.
It's okay, Amelia.
Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
On 3. 1.
Oh, hey, mister, studied algebra in school and got a better job than I could. You take the last couple.
Oh, no, mister. Stuck in an entry-level job because you only learned basic math. I don't have a boss riding my butt like you do, so you take it so you can get back to your desk.
You know, I probably should, but maybe Miss AP Calculus with the $200 haircut in the big office upstairs would like a cup.
Oh, no, Mr. What was your name again? Never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm too busy doing important things to care. I just came down for some sweet and start.
You know, if my limited math abilities weren't keeping me from getting a better job, I'd quit this afternoon.
I don't blame you. But thank goodness you're stuck here because we really...
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to 2009's final episode of Titantown Sports. I'm Matt Ogden. The New Wilmington Greyhounds are officially one game away from the Class AA state championship game after their victory over Forest Hills last week, 25-24. The Hounds will be traveling to Slippery Rock Saturday afternoon and take on Whitfield champion Greensburg Central Catholic. Game time is set for 1 p.m. The men and women's basketball teams were in action last night as they both hosted Penn State Barron. The men's team lost by a count of 71-49, and the women won. The men will be looking to get their first conference win of the season on Saturday, and the women will try to make it 2 out of 3 in the conference as they both host Thomas More Saints. The men and women's swimming and diving teams returned from Worcester Invitational this past weekend, both with a 5th place finish. The teams have the rest of the semester off, but pick back up to travel to warm and sunny Florida in January for a match against Rollins. Westminster coach Scott Renninger, affectionately referred to as Scooter, is Westminster's very own handyman. Scooter's entertaining personality helps him hold down many positions at Westminster. Titantown Sports reporter Matt Peresluka explains what Scooter does for Westminster.
Scooter Renninger loves to pump some iron in the morning before getting to work at all of his jobs here at Westminster. Scooter teaches the badminton class, coaches the boys and girls tennis team, and is a full-time professor. On top of that, Scooter serves as the chair of the Department of Physical Education. But don't think that's all.
I'm the voluntary advisor to the Interfraternity Council. I guess I'm the advisor to SAD, our Students Against Destructive Decisions, the bowling club when it was organized, the hockey club.
A simple look at Scooter's childhood shows why he loves his job here at Westminster.
My dad was a professor and a coach at Findlay College in Ohio, and so I grew up on the college campus, and it's all I've ever wanted to do.
His favorite thing about the job is watching his student athletes grow as people.
The kids, the students, the athletes understand that they're here to get an education, and they're also here to play. You made a little bit of a statement in there over one or the other. I don't think, and I never have thought, that you have to put more emphasis on being a student or being an athlete. I think you can have a perfect marriage of the two and be a good student and a good athlete, have a good social life, and be a good person in addition to this campus.
But don't tell Scooter he's been at work all this time.
I've never had to go to work a day in my life. 43 years in education, I've never felt like I've had to go to work. Working with you people, the students, the athletes that we've had over the time, has been just a pure pleasure.
I'm Matt Peresluka for the County Line.
Every day's a new day.
This week's extraordinary athletic performance and sack athlete is Caitlin Layberger. Layberger is a sophomore swimming team member who's named as the PAC Swimmer Diver of the Week. Caitlin broke a meet record and participated in 3 event wins, helping the Lady Titans obtain their 5th place finish. This is the third time this year that Layberger has been honored by the PAC for her swimming excellence. Moving on to professional sports, the Steelers and the Browns face off tonight on Thursday Night Football as the Steelers are looking to stay in the hunt for an AFC wildcard berth. Kickoff is set for 8:20. The Steelers will be hosting the Green Bay Packers next Sunday afternoon at 4:15, and the Browns travel to Kansas City Sunday for a 1 o'clock game. Onto the ice, the Pittsburgh Penguins look to bounce back from their 2 straight losses as they take on the Montreal Canadiens tonight in the NHL's hometown, Montreal. Well, thank you for tuning in to Titantown Sports this year. Feliz Navidad to all of you, and have a safe and happy holiday season.
Too much love, making you crazy, making you right, making me fall, making me suspect, seem to think I'm playing her game. Don't you know her, this is me.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
Picture yourself at West.
This week we'll go on the road with County Line's Corey Emanuel to discover what there is to love at the classic Colonial Lanes.
I'm Corey Emanuel at Colonial Lanes in Neshannock Township for this week's episode of On the Road. Colonial Lanes, which is located in Neshannock Township, has provided entertainment for several generations. Alley employee Donald Duncan tells us just how long this establishment has been around.
They built the place in '65. It burned down once, like in '68. It wasn't that old. Then they rebuilt.
Colonial Lanes is a great place to have birthday parties or large outings. Westminster College bowling instructor Scooter Renninger has been bringing his bowling class to Colonial Lanes for over 30 years.
And it's just been a wonderful relationship as far as I'm concerned for the bowling classes to come down here. They're always willing to accommodate us, help us out in any manner they can. And they're just wonderful people, and it's been a great place for us to be able to come to bowl.
Westminster College student Tyler Kelly explains what he likes most about Colonial Lanes.
I like it. It has a nice little old feel to it. At home we have a bowling lane and it's always packed and crowded and you can't find any balls, so I like this place.
So whether you wish to bowl alone or in a league, Colonial Lanes is a perfect 10. I'm Corey Emanuel with this week's installment of On the Road.
And that's the news for tonight's edition of the County Line. A replay of the Light Up Night Parade will follow tonight's show at 8 p.m. Be sure to check out WCN247.com for all your local, campus, and community updates.
And we'll see you next year with more local coverage on the County Line. Happy holidays.
Good night.
Good night.